Today's topic is Rhode Island Housing down payment assistance programs that are available to first-time home buyers as well as repeat buyers. Rhode Island Housing, down payment assistance programs. Those are still out there, Paul?
They are still out there, and obviously, some people there are some misconceptions about the programs. I mean, obviously, it's for first-time home buyers ideally, but there are programs as well, as you mentioned, for repeat buyers. So basically, with a Rhode Island housing loan in general, the only extra step, so it's a normal, say an FHA program, Rhode Island Housing. The only extra part of this at the end, once we're clear to close on our end, they do a final review, takes about 24 to 48 hours. So maybe 1 or 2 days added at the end for a final check and balance, and then they give us the final clear to close. That's the only extra layer, which is not bad at all. 48 hours, to me, 2 days is not the end of the world. Just to mention, like the Rhode Island Housing, why it's attractive to first-time home buyers in a nutshell. Typically, it's an FHA-based program, so it follows FHA guidelines. But the 3.5%, let's just say quick math here. Let's say a house is $400,000, 3.5% down would be $14,000. The FHA, with that's you bring out of pocket, but with the Rhode Island Housing, they give you up to $15,000. So essentially, your down payment's covered, and whatever's not used can be applied toward closing costs. And the good thing is, during when you buy the house, you don't pay any interest at all on their $15,000. So essentially, it's added as a silent second lien. At the end of the day, when they sell the property or refinance, then they would be paid off then or tacked on to the final loan amount. That's for first-time home buyers. They do have a program for $20,000 called an extra assistance loan. This is for people that are not just first-time home buyers, but any home buyers. And typically, the way it works, the $20,000 is given toward closing costs and down payment. You don't have to be a first-time home buyer, and they go as low as 620 credit. The only stipulation is that $20,000 you're paying interest on from day one, and it's amortized over 15 years. So the payment's probably $150 a month at most, but that's something you would be paying there. So it's just another option for people that don't have the money for the down payment or closing costs. Maybe it's better than getting a closing cost credit. Just a different option.
So, Paul, with the down payment assistance program with Rhode Island Housing, can they use that down payment assistance to pay their buyer's agent?
Well, I mean, essentially, it can be used for closing costs. So, I mean, technically, yeah. So,
that was a dumb question. Down payment.
Hey, well, listen,
I was thinking closing costs.
Yeah. I mean, technically, it could, because it's something to keep in mind now with the new rules that are in play. So, definitely something they could utilize.
So you can't. So instead of using it for a down payment, you can use that for a closing cost.
Yeah, either one, either or. It's a number they apply at the end as a credit. Yeah, so we can make it work if that's what we need to do. And one other thing I want to mention really quickly is that with this program, everyone assumes it's FHA, which normally it is. There's a conventional option as well, where they can put down as little as 3%. And as you know, in this market, conventionals in a perfect world will trump most offers. So it's a way you can do this with a $15,000 or $20,000 with conventional guidelines as well. Keep that in mind.
Beautiful. Okay. And real quick, the difference between the conventional the major difference between the conventional guidelines and, say, FHA?
Yeah, I mean, mostly it has to do with multifamily homes. One thing is obviously with the appraisal. That's obviously less red tape. Not that, houses, you want a house that needs work, but with FHA, they're a little more strict. Conventional is a little more forgiving with little things, maybe like chipping paint and with, little aesthetics. They let those things go a little easier. Secondly, when you're buying a multifamily, this is the most important part. With conventional, they don't have on the 3 and 4 unit properties the self-sufficiency test. We're seeing that a lot right now in 3 or 4 unit properties where FHA basically they take what fair market rent is per unit, either the fair market rent or what lease agreements are, and they take for the whole unit and they multiply it by 75%. So quick math here: if you had a property, let's say $4,000 in rent, that takes 75% of that number is $3,000. With FHA, that number has to be a $3,000 figure would have to be more than the total monthly payment will be. And that's hard to do in this market. Conventional, you don't have that little hurdle. They don't care about the self-sufficiency test. They're just happy if the debt to income ratio works, the income's good, you're fine. So that's something to get around that on multifamily homes. Just keep that in mind when you have offers going in. You don't have to deal with the extra hurdle. FHA you do, and most savvy, listing agents realize this. So they're more prone, to accept the conventional offer on a multi if possible.